Pleasure to speak with you every time. We've talked many times over the years for so many different projects. So pleasure to speak with you again. I'm going to start where I was going to start with you, which is the art style. You have so many different styles. This one has such a kind of fun and free and I don't know, kind of a groundy feel. Like it feels Ren and Stimpy-ish to me somehow as well. Like, can you explain your art, your inspiration for the art style of this?
So basically, this one is really the closest to my heart because it's kind of this cartoony animation, really inspired from Warner Brothers and Tex Avery, right? Not the big googly-eyed takes, but for the basic animation. And of course, Ren and Stimpy, which I loved, is inspired by the same thing, right? So that's probably like where there's a similarity. And and so it's so close to my heart. And there's because I think we kind of did it right. There's a nostalgic quality to it, even though it's not recognizable. There's something about it that's familiar, and so that kind of settles you down. Like, oh yeah, I know this. This is kind of feels right. And then you get hit with the subject matter that's not familiar. And so it's a good vehicle to tell this type of action and story in.
Now, I guess the question is when you had the idea of these characters, of course, you find the voices after, but what was the idea of connecting the right voice for the right animal? Because we always talk about like our animals are us, or this owner looks like their animal too. So to find Bull, to find, Adam, to find, of course, Idris and Rocco, tell me a little bit about matching those up, but to make it right in your head.
Well, and it's funny because we initially had these character personalities that are based on my friends, right? And then we associate the dogs first to them. So like, okay, Bull's like a really confident nerd, right? So he's going to be kind of pudgy, but he's still okay with himself, right? Rocco's tough. So, you want it to be a boxer, a pit bull that fits. So the fit of the dog to the personality is pretty easy, right? Because they kind of speak to you already. Honey is a beautiful dog, so she needs to be shapely and curvy like a bourgeois or like an Afghan with long hair. And then once we got the voice actors, then we start not changing the dog design, but changing the expressions to match the voices, right? So the way Adam speaks, we had the mouth shapes a certain way, certain expressions. What's Rocco's kind of expression once we heard what Idris was doing. And so all the way down the line, we would do that.
So, this film has a lot of great little points, and like as you said, the more I think about it, I see those callbacks. I mean, even the chasing the horny dog feels like a Tom and Jerry kind of feel of chasing too. So, what was one of the things that kind of you enjoyed, like something you really wanted to kind of pull off in this, as you kind of like I guess as a director, one specific one, you're like, this is just the idea. This feels like the heart of this film. Was there a specific animation section, or maybe a place, or kind of a point that you felt like this is the section that feels like the movie?
And well, yeah, the first section I ever storyboarded was that opening. And it was, we actually never had the puppy, the bull as a puppy first. The movie started with just you go in the house and then you go up the stairs right to the dog humping. And that was the proof of concept, really, right? Because it's got the dog behavior, which dogs hump human legs, right? And then it's got the physical cartoony comedy, like the Tom and Jerry cartoon you're talking about. And can we still do the raunchiness in all that? So that sequence had everything. And then when I first storyboarded it, we even had an older design. The whole room laughs, and then people really started to get it.
Right.
And that's where the idea was kind of sold.
So I have to ask, you've done some great stuff. They tell me I have to wrap here. I just really quickly, is this your pent up raunchiness after, Solemn Samurai Jacks and your Kitty Transylvanias and all these primal things too? Is this your raunchiness trying to find a way out?
Yeah, it's my Dumb and Dumber. Like, I love that movie. I love the Judd Apatow movies. So this is my adult comedy. It's pushed definitely probably more to what my sensibility maybe is a little bit. But you want to make sure that people see that it's audacious and crazy, and talk about it, right?
Very cool. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.